a fit.
All right.
You know, in terms of recognizing that there is this spiritual heart, there's this main essence to be a human being, that if you lose it, you can lose your mind.
All right.
See, the LeBeau said, if you lose your fit, you lose your mind.
Right.
Now, our children went into the deep well, took the term, but lost its meaning.
Right.
They say, man, you got a nice fit. They're talking about how you dressed.
All right.
See,
All right.
they're not talking about your mind.
All right.
See, and so we need to recognize that while we can reach instinctually into our wells, and maybe even take up terms and ideas
Right.
that come out of it. If we scholars don't give the foundation, the grounding for what that means, then we have all this chatter. All this chatter going in our community that sounds like it's African,
All right.
but it has no essence of being African. And so we have to work on this. We have to look at this. These LeBeau talk about the G-code. G-code as being the personality, the traits, that people come with a personality, come with certain traits, that the Robs of the LeBeau, these ancestral spirits which are invisible, that guide and protect and prevent harm if you acknowledge and respect them. How often do we acknowledge and respect in our day-to-day lives the ancestral spirits that will protect us? See, we don't do this. How many of us spend that moment when our parent dies or loved one dies, and we take the responsibility of simply washing their feet? Because in washing their feet, when I wash my father's feet, and he walks into the afterlife, I have prepared him to go to the afterlife to come back to protect me. See, we don't do that. See, we don't do that. We say, well, oh shit, I ain't got no insurance. I got to I got to have some kind of fish fry, baby. Get some money together so I can bury this old buzzard. You see, we don't realize that there's responsibilities for the living associated with the dead. You see, and so we got to think about that. You know, sometimes our religion got in the way. You know, and so the things that were simple things to do, we stop doing, and therefore we've disconnected ourselves from the spirit, from the power that makes us mighty. You know, and so we get hurt because we have not made those understandings. In the deep wells of the culture, I can go to the Akan bucket, that deep, cool water of the Akan, will say that this human being has an okra. And I like that okra because that's my okra, tomatoes, and corn. That's something I can understand that. You know, they talk this old esoteric philosophy. It gets kind of hard for me. When I say that okra is the essential aspect of the spiritual consciousness of a being, then I understand my grandma when she said, baby, that ain't no gumbo.
All right.
She said, no, baby, I don't know what you got there. That ain't no gumbo.
Gumbo, right.
No, it might taste good, but it's not gumbo. Because the essential aspect of the spiritual force of my consciousness is absence. So the Khan said that to be a human is to have an okra. To be human is to have a sunsum. A sunsum, a spiritual element of the person that accounts for one's disposition. This sunsum is the spirit, and you can have a weak sunsum, you can have a strong sunsum. The sunsum can leave your body and travel at night, which we confuse as dreams.
All right.
We think we're dreaming something, but it is your spirit going out and having a party. But if your spirit don't get back to your body before you wake up, you're in a world of trouble. See, we don't understand that. We all be tripping on, oh, my psychology classes, this phenomena where I'm just laying in bed and I can't move, and it's frightening me. And there's nothing frightening about it. Your son still ain't come back home yet. That's why you can't move, because that's the activating principle. So we got to think deeply about these things. We got to understand these things. We got to understand this deep thought of Africa, and the concept that there's the Suban, S-U-B-A-N. It's one's character, and one's character has to cooperate with one's destiny.
All right.
We don't even think about destiny. We don't even think about purpose. Now my character may be a fiery character, but if my fiery character is not cooperated with my destiny, and my destiny is what I came from heaven to do, then I become a useless human being. Because I'm always in conflict with my character. My character may be the character that is always pacified. When folk get to arguing, I'm the one that can, just coming in the room, my presence eases all that out. You all know there are folk like that. That you all be just going all crazy, and they'll just come in and just their energy chills stuff out. You know, but if you tell that person to go chop someone's head off, that's not their destiny. You know, but you can find the head chopper. You see, and so we haven't thought about it. There are folk who are the head choppers. There are folk who are the head choppers. And we need to give them their character and their destiny. See? But the head chopper doesn't get more praise than the one who comes in and gives us that sense of oneness. We need to understand that Africa teaches us in the deep wells this deep thought, this deep understanding. The Yoruba, oh God, they go to these different wells. Different wells, all this ancestral rights. So I got some rights here. I got some connections here. I go to Europe, and Europe says there's an Ori Inu. There's an inner head. There's my big head, but there's an inner head. This inner head has to do with my personal spirit that was given to me by God, by Olodumare himself. And that inner head influences my personality. It is the guardian of myself. It's that inner head that always talks to you. But we got some cartoon mentality about a good devil and a bad devil. You know, little good angel and bad angel. You know, the good angel's on the right shoulder and the bad angel's on the left shoulder. And you walking down the street and you have a dilemma, and then you say, oh, this old lady walking across the street, and the good angel says, oh, help the old lady across the street. The bad angel says, hit the bitch in the head and take a purse. And you say, oh, what do I do? We even have a sign. What does this mean? Oh, I'm so confused. You know, we do this shit like we don't even know what's coming from. That ain't our stuff. See, that ain't our stuff. Our stuff says that our relationship is to God. Our stuff says we have a destiny. And the destiny to do what? To make it more better. See, we've always been the more better people. You know, and we just take it for granted now. But the fact of the matter is that that's inscribed in our philosophy. They talk about the Yoruba, talk about the egg bay, the heart, which represents your character. What happened when I was a boy? When I was a boy, the highest compliment you could give to a black man is to say, brother got heart. Brother got, he don't get back down. And he's right doing. You see? And so we forget that. We forget that that was a retention, a residual, a resonance. See, this is science here. This ain't just so sort of rhetoric that black folk talk because we want to feel good about being black. This is science that talks about that energy obeys law. And resonant energy says that when I vibrate as a sure enough black man, no other black man can stand in my presence and not vibrate. See, that's the law of resonance. You see, that if I hit a tuning fork, and the tuning fork vibrates at a certain level, other tuning forks will pick up the same beat, the same level. And so the fear of what you do with these Africans is that as we keep vibrating, it becomes contagious. And other Africans start to vibrate at the same level. That the Africans understood that. The Yoruba talk about the Iwa. Iwa, one's destiny, one's character. And that if you're raised right, if your folks do what they're supposed to do in terms of your rearing, then you will have what's called the Iwa Pele. The gentle character, the good character. Now, gentle character, good character does not mean you can't go to war. It simply means that your nature is one that produces life, and sometimes you have to kill in order to protect life. Now, that's just fundamental. No, we can't get away from that. But we want to just slap me and I'll say I forgive you. Slap me and say I forgive you. No, if that slapping is destroying life, then I have to do something about it. You see? And it's not forgiving. You see, and so we have to understand that. The fawn, you see what? Another well. I'm going to all these deep wells of African ancestral rights. The fawn people say that the human soul is the say or the shay. And that the creator, the great shay, the creator, I'm a shay. There's a great creator, the great shay. It says that my beingness, I want you to see this. My being is the being of all Africans from the past and all Africans that will ever come. See, that's my being. You see? It's a different notion of being. It's that I am the representation of all Africans that have ever existed. See, I'm not alone here. See, I can go anywhere and talk shit. Because I got backup. You see, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I will never be alone. I have never been alone. You see, these spirits are always with me. You see, just the concept of that, that my being removes me from this vulgar notion of individuality. See, I'm not an individual. I am a being, and in my being is all the beings that ever be.